Hi guys, it's me again, Brian, and today we're going to talk about the core and the breakup of the core in 5th edition and what we can do to maybe get things to work a little bit better. I don't know if some of you have been playing the game as long as I have with Ravenloft, but over the course of Ravenloft, pieces of the core have broken out. Clusters have been created in other places and have broken apart. And the world itself is very fluid. So the fact that they broke up the core isn't necessarily out of context of Ravenloft. I don't think they should have done it. And I think they did it solely so they could go with their idea of reimagining Ravenloft, which is to make every world be a representation of a type of horror, which I guess that can work for some people, but some of the lands like Borka and Reach Malu, and they really benefit from being able to trade, and you need a bunch of lands to trade with. So this is my thought about the whole thing. Is, as I said before, Ravenloft lands are fluid. So yeah, they could break apart. The core could easily break apart, but then it could come back together again. What I would think what should be done is the core was kind of a hodgepodge of different cultures together. Mostly it was medieval and chivalric, and I think the last one was Renaissance, how they labeled it. I'm going to be looking at the 3.0 version of Ravenloft for this. There was no 4th edition. There was a 3rd edition, skip 4th edition, now it's in 5th edition. 3rd edition was really well done. And if you really want to play Ravenloft, it might behoove you to try to get a copy of it. I think you can get it on Drive-Thru RPG. And there's a lot of good sources for Ravenloft on there that aren't necessarily even official through like the Dungeon Masters Guild and stuff like that. But what I would do is I'd create new clusters. You can call it a core if you want to call it a core. I'd put all the chivalric, I'm not going to pronounce this right, so bear with me. Chivalric and Renaissance cultures together. So Borka, I would put Borka and Dementaloo, actually Daemonlu, and Nvidia, Lamordia, Keening, Mordant, Rishmalo, so that's what it says to pronounce it as. And I would also put some other cluster ones. You can throw them out in the sea if you want to, or you can have them part. But this could be the time where we can actually bring, where are you? Paradon to the core. This is the Doppelganger's land. It's Renaissance, and it's been kind of tucked away in the mist all by itself. And you could literally put the whole Zaresta cluster together, and that would include Timor, which is not Renaissance, but it's in the sewers. It's connected via the sewer system with Paradon, and it's kind of Lovecraftian. So that would be interesting. I would also think that, we could throw some other things in. I think Let's see. How do you pronounce that? Peridon. We're going to talk about. Oh yeah, okay. I say Saranj, but it says Surani or Nya, Suranya. So I said Suranj, Suranya, which is Anton. It's Anton. I think it's Mizra land. They actually they're retconning it to be a prison area. We're going to talk about that because I don't think it needs to be retconned that way. I think we can fix it and still be kind of sensitive. Anyway, so I would put all those into one area, and then find the medieval ones, and put all the medieval ones together, and so forth. If it's a culture level, say like Akir, which is in Bronze Age, you might want to put it with other Bronze Age worlds. You could technically do a whole Bronze Age cluster, and you could get things from like ancient Babylon. You could put ancient Greece in there. I think Greece is past Bronze Age, but you know what I mean. So you could have this cluster of kind of the antiquity timeline, and that would be really interesting because you would have interesting. It would be very, very interesting because you'd have to deal with the level of technology, and it would be. I think it would be worthwhile, and then you could do a medieval or dark age. You could do a dark age one which would be more appropriate. You could throw in. I have an idea for a Viking one, which I may talk about later. It's based on some Scandinavian folk tales, Hamlet, and a Viking saga. So I could talk about that as well. But yeah, in this case, I would take all the lands and I would cluster them into clusters that make technological sense. And that way we could add some sort of trade between the things. Because once you get to a certain civilization level, if you can't trade with other places, your economy doesn't function very well. So it would be better to have those at least cluster together. So that's what I'm going to talk. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about for this video. I think the next video I may start with just a rundown of some of the named realms, maybe the bees. It's going to depend on how long it takes me to do one domain, but I might go down the domains, and then once I'm through the domains, I think I'll talk about some of the things about like power checks and other applications on it. But I think that's it for today. I'm almost out of time anyway because I'm trying to do 10 minutes at a time. Thank you.